Hello and welcome to this new episode of Continuum Gaming, and in this episode we are going to talk about a new SailfishOS related topic, which is a small little app called Fotokopierer. It's German, Fotokopierer, and that is more or less a scanning application for your smartphone, which will help you to scan stuff. And at first I didn't even get what this app was all about, because of course you can just take your camera and take a photo and everything will be fine, right? But in the end, what we're talking about here is an app which will help you to get rid of distortions and export PDFs afterwards with several images in them if you want to scan stuff. And this is more or less what this app does, and for that it's really a little bit useful and pretty interesting. And there are a couple of other things like easy to use and easy to access different kinds of image processing algorithms which help you with other stuff too. But in the end, I don't think those are totally useful. The most useful stuff is the more or less distortion correction stuff and how to get a PDF out of it to make that, for instance, viable for being sent by an email or whatever. And for that, the app is really a great one, and I would like to show you how to get it, what it does, and how it's done. For that, I'm going to use my Sony Xperia 10 Mark III in this case, which is this one. And that one is of course running with the latest version of SailfishOS. And we have my laptop at the side here, so I can show you everything that is on my smartphone using screencast on the big screen. For that, I'm just going to go over here, and as you can see, here we are. I'm just going to use my fingerprint scanner in this case to get into SailfishOS here. And now, as always, I'm going to show you where to get the app and how to use it after that. So, first off, I'm going to go to my store here, go to Sham GUI in this case, and as you can see in Sham, you will be able to get all this. I think it's also on Open Repros, but Sham is often the better resource for the newer ones, especially if the developer decided to go to Sham. Most of them don't go back to Open Repros, so this one is more recent in general, but it depends. So for the app to be found, go to the Applications tab here and just put in Photo. Then there's Fotokopierer, as you can see, by Frank Fischer. And in this case, you can already see there's not much to see in this case. I really would like the developers to start telling us about the apps more in the App Store, because they often just don't tell us what they do. In the end, you get one little small sentence here, which is fine. It's more than I have seen on other apps, because sometimes there are just, changelog informations and stuff like that there. But in this case, this is fine. And as you can see, you can download it here, and there are a couple of different informations about the whole app. It's a very small one, and you can just download it by pulling down the drawer menu off the top there. And in general, if you don't have it installed till now, you don't get a start application, but you would get install the application or the repository, it depends, and after that the installation. So just try that, and if you did that, you will find a new small little icon which is called Fotokopierer at this part here. If I click on that, you will be presented with more or less a document you already printed. So you get one document at a time when you are starting the app and you are putting a new one on. Then you can just put in different kinds of pages, for instance. That's an interesting feature, because then you are able to really create one of the bigger ones, whatever. What you can see here is, of course, my laptop, which is standing at the side here, and of course that's pretty unusual or pretty unusable in our case. So what I did is I created a really small little piece of paper where I wrote with different kinds of pens and stuff like that, and a pencil and stuff like that, on that, just to show you that it can really do what it's promising. So scanning in some kind of information which was printed or which was on a piece of paper like this one, so written with a pen or whatever, and that one should be fine. If I go here, you can already see this. I can now take a picture of that in the app. And if I do that, it's going to take a picture, and now I will have the option to more or less do stuff with it. And because I did really take a pretty straight on picture, we don't have to do much with it. We can of course now move around those little parts here. And in the end, we don't have to do much with it because it's already pretty straight. If it wouldn't, we could, for instance, do stuff like this. So more or less make sure that it's going to be straight afterwards. And so all the different lines and stuff are going to be there. We do that with the next page. I'm just showing you that this is what can be done. There are a couple of options like the ones here. So this one is more or less a whole picture, or at least most of the information's in there. And this one is some kind of a magic trick. I don't know what it really does, because if I click on it, it's really not working very well. I'm not sure if it's a feature that will be added or if it's really doing something. If you know, please let us know in the commentary section down below. I don't know about it. Anyway, I can go to the next part here, and as you can see, we have now a couple of different other options here. As you can see, this is what we got out of the picture. And now we can go down below here and have a couple of different options here. For instance, you can do it in real black and white, meaning that there is really only black and the color white on the screen. As you can see, that helps a little bit with this one, for instance. It's easier to read. But on the other hand, we have this grid on the paper there, which is going to get us a hard time with only black and white, because then you will have a lot of the same color, same part there, which is probably not what you want. So if you go to grayscale, that's a little bit better. As you can see, we only have gray color now. The one pen was blue, as you may or may not can see, I'm not sure. Anyway, one of the colors was blue, it's no longer, so it did that. And of course you can go with a full colored one, like this one for instance, and use that. I will have to click on something else. Yeah, now you can see it. Okay, perfect. And yeah, in the end here you can see it's blue now. Is this very useful? I'm not sure about it. First I thought this would be what the app would do, so just put it into grayscale, put it into the color mode and stuff like that. That's not totally useful. Maybe if you have bad eyesight or something, then it might help, but in the end for me that's not the case. What I can do, the other one is more or less an automatic one, so it's going to take different kinds of parts of the picture more or less and put some of them into different kinds of possibilities here. As you can see, it's more or less black and white combined with color. If you want to do that, use that. I don't think that's very useful neither, but what you can do if you don't like any of those, you can just do your own little stuff here with this little range slider there. Is this useful? I don't know really. So in the end, all the other stuff you can do with the coloring and stuff like that, it's maybe good to simulate that you scanned it or something, because some of the scanners really do stuff like that and use these kind of algorithm to get rid of everything. But for me, I don't see much of a helping. Yeah, what does it help? I'm not sure. A normal person can read it anyway, and if it's, for instance, a problem with some kind of an OCT or whatever, so there's image to text processing or whatever, then it might help sometimes, but those have better options there, because there is no image or OCT in this app as far as I can tell, which would be a great addition. Then it would make much more sense, but at the moment there is none. And as you can see, now we have this first page in here, and this is more or less the date we are doing this, and this would be the second page, and we are just going to do that. For me, I wanted to show you how it's done if it's not that great photographed. For instance, just some kind of a picture like this one, which of course is much harder to see here. Now these little parts here will help you a great time, because now you can really make sure that you get all the information you want from the picture here in a more or less straight way. And the great thing about it is that it's going to be able to stretch and get rid of the distortion here for you. So if you do this, the picture will still be square or straight, whatever, afterwards, but it's going to contain all the information here, and it should get rid of most of the camera distortion, or at least of the perspective distortion, let's say like that, of this picture. And as you can see, he's going to stretch it out and try to give you straight lines and stuff like that. It depends on what you are going to do, of course. So if you do it right and great, then it's going to be fine, otherwise not. But as you already can see, we can easily read this now, what was a little bit harder to read before. So that is more or less the biggest thing this app can do for you. And after that, of course, we can, for instance, go with this part or the black and white one, depends on what you want to. In general, I prefer black and white, not the black and white, but grayscale or the color ones, but it depends on what your eyesight is. Maybe if you have I don't know, you need high contrast or something, then this is very helpful for you. And again, you can, of course, if you want to, go in here and try something like this. And for instance, to get rid of the grids, this might be helpful now, because you can, for instance, get only these informations in here. Make sure that you're not going to overpronounce it, but find the right spot there to, for instance, get all the is great stuff from the grid part. That's fine, then it's helpful. Okay, so and as you can see, we now have this, and if we want to save this now, you would just go to the puller menu there, and there you can see we have PDF export more or less, and a couple of other things, like for instance, you put in other pages from other parts here. If you have one of the scanning PDFs here, which you did before, then you could, for instance, put in something else. We don't have that, so it's more or less this. And again, we could, for instance, get one of those out, put it into another one, or we can just export our PDF now, or just give it a name. Depending on what you want to do, everything is fine there. So if we do that, and let's say this is just a test document, if you do that, now the part you are talking about is of course a test, and if you go to PDF export now, he's just going to export that, and now the system is going to open that up. No, perfect timing for my HP driver to tell me I should update my HP file driver, doesn't matter. In the end, as you can see, this is a PDF now, we can see there, and we can scroll through it in our document viewer more or less, and there's the first page and the second page, and everything seems to be like we wanted it to be. So this could now, for instance, be attached to an email, sent to, I don't know, some kind of a request you have to do or whatever, or some kind of evidence you have to provide somewhere. This is totally fine for that and should help with that. Yeah, and this is more or less what the app does. I hope it's helpful for you. As mentioned before, you can get it from Shamgui. There it's pretty easy to find under Fotokopierer, whatever, and I'm going to put the link down below too, because there is now a Shamgui in the web that you can access. And other than that, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. I hope you had a great time. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, of course. If you didn't subscribe to the video or to the channel till now, please do that now. And the button is down below. And if you have any kind of questions, comments, or a good use case for this app or whatever, just tell me about it in the commentary section down below. Other than that, thank you for watching, see you around, and bye. Bye!